Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1, Possible Leaked Script. So I wanted to get this out there for you guys as soon as possible. This is a major spoiler warning. So I'm going to read through a lot of the script. It's going to be 7 or 8 minutes long. I had some random pictures just so you're not looking at the same thing over and over again. And I do want to say this was posted on Spoiling Dead's fan page. This is Rocket Dog. This is not my theory. You guys know I have a lot of fun with this. The last 6 months I've done a lot of speculation theories, and a lot of times you do speculation, it's meant to create debate. We know that they're not all right, but there's a lot of good fun and a lot of back and forth, and sometimes they're what you want them to be. This one kind of made my heart sink a little bit when I read it. I think it could be extremely accurate. That's why I said it's a possible leaked script. So if you don't want to know what's going to happen or you don't want a detailed image of it, do not watch this video. I'm not telling you this is some kind of joke. I think this is very spot on, but it's starting to make its way around, and I did want to read it. I take absolutely no credit for this. So here it goes. There's going to be a lot of detail listed in this. So let me get started. So this is an adaptation of it. This is kind of me paraphrasing a little bit. The scene will start out with what we saw in a sneak peek where Negan is actually dragging Rick to the trailer. He goes on to say he doesn't want to talk about Abe and Glenn's death just yet. He's going to go into that because it's going to become a dream sequence. Negan throws Rick into the RV and drives the axe into a table. Negan starts driving the RV a little bit recklessly. Then he mocks Rick for threatening that he was going to kill him. Negan then goes on to dare him to get the axe and to come get him. Rick goes after the axe, goes after him, but Negan had pulled over the RV, pulls out a machine gun. Rick backs down, so he eases up a little bit. They take off again, and Rick starts this dream state. This is where it really starts coming together, and he has this dream of a party going on at the Alexandria safe zone. Negan pulls up to the area that we talked about with the burning logs, and he shuts down the RV. He grabs the axe, opens the door of the RV. Walkers are now around the RV, attracted by the fire and the smoke that was there. Negan pops his way clear with Lucille, then tosses the axe on top of the roof. He tells Rick to go get the axe. Negan basically tosses Rick out of the RV into the Walker Fest, into the area. Rick is still having these dreams even though he's surrounded by walkers, and evidently he's dreaming of a garden party. Everyone's starting to come together doing all sorts of family-oriented stuff. It's also starting to mix in different shots of the lineup, so it's going back and forth. In between these dreams, he's fighting the walkers all around the RV, but it's very smoky, it's dim. He can't even see the RV. Finally gets to the RV, sees the ladder, makes it to the RV, climbs up, but walkers want to keep tearing him down. He kicks his way to the top and lands on top of the RV. Then he looks around, he sees the hanging man from the bridge. Just a few feet away from him, just hanging there, struggling around. He keeps thinking about the party, so he's going back and forth in these flashbacks, and he's really starting to break down a little bit. So now it flashes back to the Lucille victims, and a lot is just going through the eyes of Rick. So he's the main character. It's really being played out that way. Negan goes into the eeny, meeny, miny, moe. The bat ends up on Abraham. He says, "You can cry. Hell, you're all going to be doing that soon." Abe kind of bucks up, gets very stoic. He's ready to accept his fate. And whack, Abe takes the first shot to the skull. Negan is amazed at how Abe is still somewhat cognizant, and Abe managed to get one last Abeism in, and apparently he's going to say something along the lines of, "Suck my nuts." All the while, he continues to take it like a champ. Whack, Abe goes down, and then becomes a bloody mess. Afterwards, Negan shows Rosita the bloody bat. She doesn't want to take a look at it, but he demands that she takes a look. Daryl's fuming. He just wants to get involved. Negan is in mid-sentence, and Daryl jumps up and just whacks Negan to the ground. Dwight and other saviors grab Daryl. They tackle him. Rick basically calls off the dogs as Daryl's getting ready to basically commit suicide. Tells Daryl to stop. Negan takes note of the relationship at that point. Dwight kicks Daryl back into the lineup. He goes on to say the first one was free. This one won't be. Negan explains how shit works. He has to make the right impression for his entire group. Instantly, Negan brings the bat over to Daryl, then turns and whacks Glenn. Then again bashing the top of his skull, Glenn spits out his classic comic book lines trying to call out to Maggie. Negan spits out his comic book lines about the eye looking gross. He turns to Maggie and basically acts like he's trying to apologize for what he has to do, but this is the way that it has to be. No exceptions. It gets very graphic. We've seen the puddles that are out there. Another Negan comic line about Lucille being a vampire bat. And then he's back in front of Rick and says, "What? Was the joke that bad?" Flashback is over. So it kind of goes roundabout, and this is the end of the flashback scene. So Rick starts to feel crushed as he gets back to his reality. He sees the axe. Negan wants his axe. Rick has to move as bullets from the machine gun start tearing through the roof of the RV. Rick grabs the axe and runs and jumps off the RV onto the hanging bridge guy, who now is a walker. Now Rick is periodically having these sort of quick flashy scenes in his head about Negan Lucilling the different people in the lineup. He's starting to crack slowly and slowly. Rick is hanging on the walker, trying to climb up and keep the walkers below from getting him. So it's a little bit of back and forth. Then machine gun fire taking out the walkers. Negan is in the RV, like we see him, one of the trailers, shooting walkers, trying to help Rick to get his axe. The dead guy gives way. Rick and the axe go flying to the ground. Rick gets up looking around and obviously has to fend off more walkers. Scenes of Lucilling the lineup goes through Rick's head. Rick is all over the place fighting walkers, the smoke making finding the RV difficult again. The horn is honked so he can follow the sound around. He finally gets the RV with the walkers. The door mysteriously opens. Just in time, Negan lets him in. Obviously, Negan is amazed and pleased that Rick got his axe. Back to the clearing they go. Obviously, the axe is dirty. Negan cleans the axe off and gives it back to Rick before he makes his grand re-entrance to the group. He's a little bit upset because he realized that he wasn't able to break Rick down yet. Negan asks if he should give Rick another chance. Rick, of course, agrees. Negan needs some assurance, apparently, so he has Simon point guns at the back of everyone in the lineup's head. Negan wants Carl up where he is. Negan pulls off his belt. Carl comes over. Negan wraps it around his arm and makes him lay on the ground. Simon gives him a Sharpie marker and makes a deliberate mark on Carl's forearm. Rick pleads with Negan. Negan isn't interested. Negan orders Rick to cut off Carl's arm. Not to worry, Negan says. He has a doctor that can take care of Carl. Negan directs Rick down to where Carl is. Got to do it now, or Negan will Lucille him, swinging Lucille around Carl's head. Negan begins the countdown. 3. Rick begs him to make it be him. Negan declines. 2. Carl accepts his fate, not trying to show any fear. 1. Rick has no choice. He starts to swing the axe, and just as he begins to do it, Negan stops him, realizing he has completely broken Rick at this point. He can have him do anything that he wants. Negan takes the axe, points it at Daryl. Negan orders Dwight to take Daryl with them and threatens Rick. He doesn't follow the rules. He'll cut Daryl in little pieces and send them back to him. Negan starts to leave. He says he'll leave them a truck so they can haul all their shit. He'll be there in 1 week to come a-knockin'. As the Saviors leave, a couple of them actually take Polaroids of the bodies, just like the ones that Glenn saw on the wall in the outpost. Rick just stands there with his axe, stunned, completely broken. They load the bodies in the truck. They still got to get Maggie to see the doctor. Maggie is completely broken and weak. They all leave. Rick drives off in the RV. Sasha and Maggie and the bodies head to Hilltop. The garden party with everyone is still playing in Rick's mind. As he begins to leave, he looks in the rearview mirror of the RV and he sees a walker moving over, coming out of the woods, and begins to eat the remains of Glenn and Abraham. So I know this is really, really heavy. I know it's a lot to digest at one point. Once again, I would just like to say thank you for all of you guys over the last 6 months. I love doing the speculation videos. Right or wrong, it creates a lot of the debate. The more I read through this, the more I actually struggled with it. Kudos to Rocket Dog if it's actual speculation, because it seems like it's very, very believable. If it is a leaked script, then, you know, I guess the cliche is it is what it is. This is going to be very difficult to watch. It's going to be very hard to deal with if this is the way it plays out. And I think, as I said before, some of the speculation, you kind of sugarcoat it a little bit to make it in what you hope and what you want it to be. But this could be heartbreaking. So let me know your thoughts below. As I said before, it's starting to make its rounds through the internet. I wanted to get it to you guys first. I would love to hear your comments, love to hear your thoughts, and we will have more Walking Dead updates. We will have more debate. We will have more speculation, even if this is the actual script. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Killshot. Peace.